we'll be monitoring the COVID rates, and we'll also be monitoring the SMAC recommendations if they would get revised or what have you. Certainly we'll take that into consideration. At this point in time, we have made that agreement with Hernando County, but this is a very, very, very fluid situation. We know that. There's a lot of things that have changed since our emergency meeting last week. A whole lot of stuff has changed, and I expect there to be more things to change in the coming days and coming weeks. So if it's the will of the board, I'll be more than glad to come back to you periodically when things change and keep you updated, because I know we're all interested in our student athletes having a great experience. So having said that,
we'll be updated in all of these areas every time we meet.
that is
And
correct.
we might have a few special meetings in between the regular ones,
Yes, ma'am.
anytime you need us.
Brian, you have a question?
Do we have any idea what the colleges are doing?
Well,
Like Auburn University, for example, we've got a little boy from Crystal River. I can't help this. He's leaving in December to go to Auburn so he can start football. I don't know that there'll be any football for him to go to.
we're certainly hoping there's football by December. We're certainly hoping that.
Mr. Bradshaw's really hoping.
Yeah, I'm gonna say roll tide, but anyway.
And then I've got this black sheep of my family brother that also graduated from Auburn. I think we're gonna get a photo shoot in here with him and Mr. Bradshaw.
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
great.
As a county athletic director, I think Mr. Bishop should be part of that photo too.
Moving right along, we don't know. I know there are some, it's my understanding that the Ivy League schools have looked at rescheduling their football season to the spring. I think they're exploring that option. I believe it was the Southwest Athletic Conference has postponed games to later in the fall, if I'm not mistaken. This is moving. I mean, the alteration of fall sports as we know it across the country is changing as we speak. There's a lot of modifications going on, and I'm confident everybody's doing these things with the best interest in mind of our student athletes. So, having said that, I truly can't answer that on a broad scale. Okay.
Mr. Bishop,
Yes, sir.
so we're going to continue with conditioning, though, correct?
That is correct. We will continue with conditioning. We have made gains with our student athletes in the district, and we don't want to backslide. We don't want to have another COVID slide, if you will. So we're going to keep moving forward.
And so, let me just ask you this. How will conditioning look for, those other sports like cross country and golf and swimming? What is that conditioning going to look like? I mean, I think a lot of people know that the football team, has been summer conditioning, and volleyball, there's been some conditioning there that is permitted, that's allowable, and we're going to continue to condition up until there's, a decision of the FHSAA. I mean, hopefully that should be by the 17th of August. But what is conditioning going to look like for those other sports that I mentioned?
I believe even our other sports have performed some sort of conditioning, like cross country. I know the cross country girls that they have been conditioning, and boys have been conditioning throughout the summertime. Golf, there's nothing wrong with our golf. Our golfers go out and they'll golf on their own, to be quite honest with you. It won't be under the umbrella of the team, if you will. They just go out because they're self-motivated. Swimming, we have a local swimming club that is very active and has a lot of our kids involved in it. So they're doing that through their club as well. So I feel like all of our kids are having an opportunity to condition.
Right, but I mean from the more formal sense, like when we talk about football conditioning, I mean, there's a coach with it.
Right.
Right?
Okay, so if the high school cross-country coach wants to go out and condition with a high school golf coach, we're going to expect them to follow the return to play plan just as it's written, because we're still in phase 1B, if you will, of that plan. They're going to have to monitor that. They're going to follow it.
But they will be allowed to do so as they see fit. I mean,
As long as the facility that they use is available. For example, some of our golf courses may or may not allow teams to go because of the situation. The pools may or may not be available because of the situation. I know there are some surrounding counties that have already spoken with that is having a difficult time getting golf courses and swimming pools because we have to rely on community partners for that.
definitely. And you know what, I mean, I too, I really hope that we don't lose fall sports. I mean, I hope that we have some season for our students, for our student athletes. I mean, that's important to me. And, thank goodness, there was some insight a couple years back to get back the Gulf Coast Conference going. Ron Allen and Larry Bishop, and I don't know if Bobby Villado was involved with that too at the time, probably was, you know, to get that set back up again, because that does offer a great avenue for us in this position that we're in now. And I think like Johnny Bishop said, Mr. Johnny Bishop, not Mr. Larry Bishop, said, things are gonna be changing, there's gonna be a lot, it's kind of fluid right now, there's a lot of questions that remain to be answered, and we're gonna have better direction ahead. But man, my hopes are that we're able to get back to a fall sports season for all of those sports. And also, my challenge would be the fan side of the house now. That as we go down, I'm sure you all have had some discussions on what that looks like as far as allowing fans in when football is able to resume and we're going to have a game. It's going to be up to individual districts to still decide on how, what the rules are going to be for fans. And
Yeah, we've had some preliminary conversations, but we didn't want to spend our time talking about that until we had the infrastructure in place as far as scheduling and agreements and arrangements, if you will. We've also talked about concession stands, what we're going to do in concession stands to reduce the risk of transmission, if you will. And so we have those things in a preliminary conversation. It's not formalized enough for me to present to the
oh no,
board.
and I wouldn't expect it, other than what I would expect that would be part of the,
Absolutely.
the behind the scenes right now is talking about those options with, what we have under today's conditions, because that can change too.
Absolutely.
But, I think, I know I was able to participate on one of those calls. I think there was a Hernando County School Board member on a call too. So,
That's correct.
I mean, it's good that there's, that, you guys are working together. We want to do what's best for kids, and my hopes are that we're going to have a fall sports season.
Absolutely. Dr. Heber did a great job of showing appreciation for his staff. I would be remiss if I didn't do that for our athletic directors. I can tell you, it is comforting to me to know that we have people in these roles that do look out for the best interests of our student athletes. These guys, off contract, not getting paid, they are available at a moment's notice for them to Zoom in with me, and we've had Zoom meetings 2, 3, 4 hours at a time. So there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes to do everything we can within our power to make sure our student athletes have a fall sports season. We're going to monitor the things that are not within our control, and we're going to bring before the board a recommendation, a most informed recommendation, a strategic recommendation that can best meet the needs of our student athletes. I can assure you that. I think today it's too premature for us to make any decisions. My purpose today is to share with you the developments behind the scenes, what's going on, and so you stay up to date and most informed as we progress. There is going to come a time where we're going to come before the board and say, here's where we're at, this is what we're looking at, here's the numbers, here's what we're thinking, here's what SMAC has done, here's what SMAC has not done, here's what FHSA has provided, here's what FHSA has not provided. Here's what is incumbent upon us as a local entity to make these decisions. And we understand the enormity of these decisions, we understand the impact of these decisions, and we're going to do everything we can to make the best decision and the best recommendation for you guys moving forward.
One, Larry, I think that's the best he's talked about you.
I didn't mention Larry's name, did I?
Mr. Bishop, you have taken, this has been a monumental task, and you don't have the pleasure of a enormous staff, but, and in fact, our athletic directors, they don't work full-time just as athletic directors, and so they are often providing this and doing this as much from their heart as from anywhere. But I would like to just ask you something so that the community understands a bit about you, because you're legendary over here, but not necessarily.
About that.
Have you been a parent of a high school athlete?
Yes, sir.
You're a parent of a college athlete.
Yes, sir.
You've been a high school coach?
Yes, sir.
You've been a high school athletic director?
Yes, sir.
You've been a district athletic director?
Yes, sir.
I say that because what I hear is people saying that they want to listen to what Johnny Bishop has to say, and that's not in this community, although they do say that here. But other communities, surrounding communities, are like, well, but what is Mr. Bishop, what is his feelings on this? And I greatly value that because you have had to step into this role to save this district an enormous amount of money by taking on, as an assistant superintendent, also taking on the role of the athletic and activities director for the district, something that very few people could probably do. I know you can do it in your sleep, but you are having to do it in your sleep because you have all the other responsibilities of it. So I'm grateful to you. I value so much when you are doing this. What we were briefed today is only a small amount of those phone calls, those meetings, those understandings. And I just want this community to know how appreciative we are of you.
Thank you very much, it means a lot. Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you very much for your support. We will come back before the board.
Another job well done.
Thank you.
Okay, any other business to come before the board? Mrs. Powers?
Just a few words. Share this with the audience. This is, here. What Thomas wrote, and it was in the newspaper, as he was explaining all about what we were doing about the COVID and how the schools were reacting to deal with that. It's very, very detailed. We looked at it, we thought, oh, this is really good. And then everybody else in the state looked at it. So it was sent down to Tampa. Where else? Remind me where else?
The Department of Education and then the Commissioner of Education reposted it himself and was very complimentary about it.
Excellent article, and if you don't know it, Thomas is involved in about everything there is to be involved in. He does not sleep, he eats once in a while, but he gets into all of it and researches it, and the information is solid information, so I think we owe him a good, let's give him a hand.
Thank you. Just
Want to follow that up?
well, Ms. Counts, on that note, actually, I've got quite a bit happening at FSBA, and so I have been on I'm the designated person for Florida School Board Association Legislative, which is now reverting to advocacy. The alternate has been Ms. Powers, and so I was going to ask that I withdraw, and if maybe Ms. Powers can take that, and then we do need an alternate, and then that needs to actually then be sent to the Florida School Board Association, and they need to be informed of that because there'll be committees starting to form as a result of it.
And I'd be very happy to, thank you.
You have a volunteer to be the alternate to the advocacy committee? I know you guys are all going from Arlington. Okay. Mrs. Grant be the alternate.
Should be great. That was it on me. I'm sorry.
All right. Mr. Dodd, I saw you on your Zoom meeting with the Florida I
yeah, that was an interesting
I know that guy in that square.
Yeah. No, I appreciate the work, staff, and all these plans that we're putting into place, and, it's gonna be a different year. I mean, it's not a normal start to school, and, but there's a lot of things that aren't normal right now, with what we're dealing with, so, just thank the staff for their work on all these plans.
Brian, anything?
I'm good, thank
I'm good again. I don't even know how to say thank you to the staff. When this thing breaks, we need to have the spring luncheon that they missed with their hot dogs and hamburgers, and we may or may not be able to do the Christmas thing, but we ought to have one big whopping party for the entire district when this is over. So, because it's fun. It's monumental. I can't believe that we've done it. And we've got a plan. So, thank you all. We are available at our normal meetings, and we're available at any time the administration needs us for a special meeting. I think we have to make a decision, just give us a call. We're here.
Right here.
There being no further business to come before this board, we stand adjourned.